everybody, it's Old School Nerd. If you're watching this live on YouTube on the Old School Nerd live channel, it's because we're live. We're live on Twitch. It is December the 14th, 2025. We did all the intro music that would be copyrighted, but we're not about that right now. There are some reactions we're doing today. There's new music that came out we want to check out. People have done requests, and there's going to be more requests from these people today. But the first thing we're going to do is my buddy Anthax has requested that I continue the series on the Swedish Army training, episodes 3 and 4. And that's important to me. I wanted to make sure that we did that because I'm really enjoying this, very much enjoying this entire situation. So let's see this. Okay, we're gonna do let me get this. I'm gonna pull these up so we can get started. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna pop these up right here. Okay. So what happened was, starting last week, this is a series that Anthax and I talked about before. And the episodes are they're around 13, 14 minutes long, but there are 18 episodes. Now, the first 6 or 7 episodes have no English. They have no English subtitles. It is all in Swedish. I know some Swedish. I do not know a lot. But here's the thing. That's okay. I may not know Swedish, but I know military training. So I'm going to give my opinions on what I see going on. The first 2 episodes, episode 1 and 2, were literally reception and organization and getting started. And the end of episode 2, they received their Swedish combat rifles. So, yeah, so we're going to go to episode 3, which I believe is going to start what apparently looks like basic rifle marksmanship. And this looks to be more field activity, so I'm not really sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this word, and I'm going to get a translation for this word, because I at least so I can have the the title for it. So we're going to do this. Time for Hunter Soldier number 3 is what it's called. It's Hunter Soldier time. So this is not your basic soldiers. A Jaeger Soldat is basically from what I've been told, it is the Arctic Rangers. Their design is their scouts. They're Arctic scouts, and this is their training. Some go to be Arctic scouts to the point where they're scout snipers. So basically, this is kind of it's not their special forces, but they're not just basic soldiers either. And I don't think there really are any basic soldiers in Sweden, because they all have to have episode 3 is I shot the first shot. Okay. Basically basic rifle marksmanship. All right, let's check this out. Jaeger Soldat, first shot. And let's take a look at this. I'm interested. This is episode 3. Here we go.
Jag har alltid gillat utmaningar. Av någon skum anledning, för jag gillar det inte egentligen när jag gör det.
Jag förväntade mig massa fys.
När man förstår att man klarar mer än man tror, det är då man växer.
Det är beryktat som den tuffaste utbildningen du kan göra.
Fuck.
I love that intro.
Nu ska rekryterna lära sig handha sitt vapen. Man ska lära sig ta isär och sätta ihop det för att man ska kunna vårda det. Man ska lära sig alla handgreppen, hur man laddar, hur man gör patroner och så vidare. Nyckeln i den här utbildningen är repetition. Syftar ju till att skapa ett ryggmärgsbeteende så att man nästan per automatik när ett eldavbrott sker eller att man behöver ladda om sitt vapen gör det snabbt även under stressade förhållanden. När du har bevisat att du...
Okay, so I have no, basically they're probably talking about basic rifle marksmanship. For most of these young people, especially in Sweden, many of them have never held a weapon in their life. Now, here in America, a lot of people have access to weapons that are not military grade, but they're similar to the capabilities without automatic fire. Here's the thing. This rifle is called the AK-5. Now, it's not Kalashnikov. Now, when I say AK, please understand, basically it would be the AC-5. But they don't use the letter C a whole lot in Swedish or Finland. It stands for auto carbine, okay? And it is a 5.56 or the standard NATO round. This rifle is actually of a Belgian design, carries the same caliber and bullet that is used in the American M16 and M4 class. It's called the 22.225 or 5.56. And there are things about this rifle that are different from the American counterpart. It is the Belgian design. However, there are some modifications that Sweden put on the AK-5. One of the most notable is it is designed to be used and carried by people wearing winter gear. The trigger guard, where you put your finger to shoot, is enlarged compared to other rifles because they're probably going to be wearing gloves in the winter, right? Those little things make it more usable. Now, currently, the Swedish military really doesn't use this weapon that much anymore. It's used for training and for reserve troops. Most of the current Arctic Rangers or forward deployed special units in Sweden now use the Finnish version, an updated Finnish version called the AK-24 that was designed in Finland but produced in Sweden. So now they have their own rifle, and they went from the Belgian Belgian design to the Finnish design because the Finnish design wasn't just a continental EU version with a little bit of modifications for Arctic service. The Finnish version straight up designed to work in Nordic countries. The receiver, the chamber, the bolt, the hand grips, everything is designed to be used both in deep winter weather, where you have to wear heavier gloves, and you're not only that, but the body and the collapsible stock is designed. The reason why, well, the AK-5 and the AK-24 have a collapsible stock where the stock can fold up, where you can literally hold it like this, because the stock would actually get in the way if you're wearing heavy winter gear. You can't, so you have to be able to close that and pretty much hold it close to body without the stock. So the designs are similar. Where the design differs from the US M16, M4 modern version of the AR type that we use is in the AR, most of those weapons have what's called a stock buffer. There's a spring that receives the bolt when it comes back and throws it back, and it's in the stock. They had to make that mechanism just in the receiver, not into the stock, so they could collapse it. So there are some design differences. End of the day, it's very lightweight. It's very rugged. It's designed for cold weather. These are not as good as the AK-24s that are the Finnish design, obviously, but this is the rifle that every Swedish soldier has to use first. Now, a lot of these soldier recruits are going to be Arctic. They're applying to the selection process for Arctic Rangers. One of the disciplines in the Arctic Rangers is to use sniper rifles. These are not that. That's a different situation altogether. But to get to that point, they got to be able to be a basic soldier first. This is part of that training, basic rifle marksmanship. In the US military, you don't do basic rifle marksmanship until you do 6 weeks of intense indoctrination and basic disciplinary training before we even give you a weapon with live ammo. Sweden, I'm assuming their young people and their citizens are a little bit more disciplined than your average American. I've been to Finland, and even the Finns will say the Swedes are very similar to us, where in basic life, we are fairly disciplined compared to most Americans, because in living in Norse areas and Scandinavian areas, it's just not only culturally, but you can't just be haphazard about your area around you and survive a winter. It's just, you can't just do stupid shit. So let's keep going. But I'm just, for those who missed episode 1 and 2, I understand the weapon systems here. I've had the chance to hold and fire an AK-5 in some stuff. When it was first came out, we were doing some stuff, mainly because we wanted to see the ballistic damage of the weapon. I do find that it kicks more than an M16. An M16 doesn't even kick back. An M16 actually wiggles like this. You don't even feel it when you fire it. The AK-5, you do feel it a little bit more. I've never touched an AK-24, so that's interesting. But yeah, very interesting idea. You notice how on the weapon, you see that knob right there, where you hold it, and then you have the trigger. There's that knob right there. Why is that knob there? That's the manual pullback. On an M16 M4, it's a double finger pull in the center. You can't double finger pull that with winter gloves on. So there are modifications to all of these weapons for the fact cold weather operations. Really interesting to me that they create weapons designed for what they use it and where they use it. It's really interesting.
Kan hantera ditt vapen på ett säkert sätt, då får du påbörja skjututbildningen.
Jag tror vi alla överskattar, rätt och så sagt, vår egna förmåga.
Du kan ta sig igenom dagen på ett bra sätt, så måste du leva 5 minuter framåt och ta en sak i taget.
Man kommer tätt in på nya människor och man lever ständigt under en klocka.
Ja, man blev ju svinglad i början när man stod här med bössan och trodde typ man skulle ut i skjutbanan direkt och börja brassa på. Men så märkte man ju att fallet inte var.
All right, day 8 and they already have weapons. That's a big, huge difference between Sweden and the American training. There's no way we're giving brand new recruits weapons on day 8 in basic training. We just don't. It's usually at least 2 to 3 weeks in, and we don't give them live ammunition for at least 6 weeks, and that's under controlled conditions. So I'm assuming they're running around with these weapons to familiarize movement with the weapon. And not only that, but also I don't believe there's rounds in these magazines. They're probably empty. You're not going to put live rounds and have them running around in an uncontrolled environment. That's safety bad.
Patroner ur. Vad fasen alltså. Stå här och göra anläggning. Inte skjuta ett dugg och bara ladda ur blindpatroner och ladda ur dem igen.
Alltså jag tror på med.
Also, another thing I do like about this design, the magazines are see-through. You know if you've got an empty mag, not by looking down at it, but you have full visualization of the deployment spring mechanism inside of it because it's see-through.
Patron ur och ladda i 7 timmar.
Gör om tills man gör rätt. Armarna bara skakar och det enda du vill göra är bara sova. Vi håller på i 2 hela dagar så det blir ett ryggmärgsbeteende. Du vet ju precis exakt vad du ska göra.
Grundställning. Då kan du lite. Det här är viktigt att öva. Du kommer känna att det känns väldigt tungt nu i början. Men det kommer bli lättare och lättare.
Så det är mer mentalt än fysiskt. Än så länge.
I'm noticing you could tell that a lot of these young people have never held a weapon. You can see they're shaking their hands or they're stretching their arms. They're not even used to the weight of a weapon. Most of these assault rifles can weigh between 5 and some assault rifles, depending upon the country, can weigh as much as 14 pounds. If you're doing a heavier rifle, I know for the M16A2s that we use, roughly around 8 pounds. Non-loaded, loaded, it was closer to 9. But that is enough weight if you're continually moving it and you're not used to it and you don't know how to hold it to where it's balanced. You can really hurt yourself. You can wear yourself out unnecessarily. You have to learn how to use your,
Men det är ju fysiskt, men det är så här obehagligt när man ska stå upp mycket. Så det blir ju mentalt.
I think in the U.S. military, we had our weapons for 4 weeks before we shot a single round. And of course, when you shoot a single round, you're at the range, under controlled conditions, always under strict supervision. It's very dangerous, of course. But I think we did basic drill with firearms and dry firing. Like he said, working how to work the mechanisms, breaking down the weapon, putting the weapon back together, cleaning the weapon. We probably did 2 weeks straight of assembly, disassembly, cleaning, and handling the weapon before we ever fired a round. And that's in basic training. In the United States, basic training doesn't really cover combat training. It's weird. You do 8 weeks of learning how not to kill yourself and others. It's basically what basic training is. Can you be a soldier? Can you function as a basic soldier? Can you handle a weapon and not kill someone? That's what basic training is. Then when you go to combat training or whatever training you're doing after that, you may then learn tactics and specialties and combat techniques later. So there's way more to just a few weeks and then, hey, good luck. We don't do that either.
Då har vi plutonen samlad. Försenade igen. Då ska vi öva på att ta isär och sätta ihop vår automatkarbin. För mig kommer det vara isär på 23 och ihop 30 sekunder. Om 20 minuter kommer jag komma tillbaks hit igen. Kontrollera, kommer att bli snabbare. Sen håller vi på så tills samtliga klarar tiden.
Jag har fått träna lite och isär ihop så man är lite aning om vad man skulle hålla på med.
Okay, so they're doing breakdown and reassembles and they have 20 minutes to do that? Okay, that's barrel and spring assembly.
Ge mig en kvart tills ner. Lägger på godkänt vid isärtagningen med ihoploppningen lite där. Ja, händerna på huvudet. Isär!
Thank you, Jim. 1 minute, 9 seconds to break it down. That's not bad. Okay, so 2 minutes, 18 seconds to reassemble, and everyone was done in 2 minutes. That's not bad. Sometimes putting them together, every weapon is different. But the more you practice, the better you get. Oh, here's another thing too. The heat temperature of a weapon makes it easier or harder to disassemble and reassemble. I know hold on one second, everybody. All right, that was a phone call. Let's continue. But I was saying that depending upon the weapon temperature, it does affect. I don't know about the AK-5s because I know, okay, if you're firing and the weapon is warm and you try to take it apart, it's completely different in the way it takes apart versus if they tried to take it apart in ice cold weather, which would be completely different. The target and goal is to break down in 23 seconds and put it back together in 30. That means that weapon would be easier to take down than an M16. You can get to the bolt, you can extract the bolt and the rear receiver and front receiver in about 20 seconds in an M16A2, but to take down the entire rifle in 23 seconds would be very difficult with the AR style because it's not modular like that. It might be easier. I don't know. They keep changing weapons. I mean, the way weapons were 25 years ago, 30 years ago are different than they are now. They're always making it easier to operate, clean, and move. Yeah. But using the weapon and leverage, the idea is, it's funny because the idea is to be able to take it apart, clean, and service the weapon fast and easy. Yet when you don't want it to come apart, it's got to stay together no matter what. How does that work? Well, I don't know, but that's the whole idea is the weapon is never supposed to come apart on its own, but yet they want you to take it apart very quickly to be able to reassemble. It's, yeah.
Och så bara, det är intryck i sången också. Lika tråkigt som när man fick 3 omvisitationer på toan och så följs det.
Isär!
Alla jävla delar som ska vara på ett visst ställe och sen ska man göra det på tid.
Tog 1 minut och 3 sekunder.
Hårsvett i mögen. Det är jag.
Jo! Då återkommer jag om 20 minuter.
Kom här, fokusera nu.
Jag vet inte när vi tar en det hela det. 59 sekunder. Jo! 1 minut, 34 sekunder. Det är fel eldhandgrepp. Varför att ni är stressade. Om 10 minuter.
Everybody take a break. We're gonna. Everybody take a break, and then we're gonna do it again. Yeah, it's pretty global.
Ta några djupa andetag. Gå! Sekunder. Godkänt för ikväll. Sen kommer vi få återta på detta. Och samtliga ska klara det under 25 sekunder. Så, om 6 minuter. Uppställ utanför ingång 10. Och ska ni dit. Nu är det 1 minut och 10 sekunder. Rätta in direkt. Vad gör du?
Oh, I've been in that situation. Everybody has to be outside, ready to go. Okay, so they're wearing their shirts. They need to go get their tops on, and they need to grab all the stuff they need. They're going to go outside and go somewhere. Everybody goes to the barracks, grabs what they need, and there's always that one guy that doesn't have his shit together. And everybody's waiting on him. And here they could see him through the window, and they're yelling at him like, come on. Yep.
Nu kommer första sergeant. Där kommer inte stop.
Oh, he just said, oh, we're fucked. Here come the sergeants. And he's not back out there.
Stop.
Everybody shut up. Where's your sense of urgency, people?
1,5 minut senare. Istället för att gå ner källan får man ju löpa på. Avdel framåt. Bort!
All right, so there's a prevailing philosophy. Okay, let's say those 4 guys were late. The training cadre, which are the NCOs in charge of training, the guy that had the beret on, he could make a decision. He could make everyone do something stupid right there, but they probably need to be somewhere. So he may say, okay, we got to get going, but I'm letting everyone know right now, for those 4, you guys all owe me later. And then he will cash in later and they'll do something for their mistake later. It does happen. So kind of cool.
Gårdagen var kämpig. Alltså jag tänkte, det var ju rätt skönt. Fram tills jag vaknade liksom. Jag kände att jag fick liksom någon millisekund av, det var helt tyst. Det var liksom bara skönt. Och så kommer det, just det, jag höll på att falla. Då får vi vakna igen liksom. Så att det är lite kul att kunna säga att wow, vi höll på i x antal timmar och plockade ett vapen liksom. Vi är jätteduktiga. Klapp på axeln. Man väljer ju själv lite hur man ska. Ja, jag får inte ut. Så har vi gjort det bästa. Mycket vapendrill, lata och patroner. Så har jag haft lite teoretiskt.
Okay, so they're just to day 9. Okay, they're to day 9 and already they're like, you're seeing the things that the training cadre had to show them multiple times on the first night. They're now doing on without being told. So that's the repetition of everything. A lot of military training has to do with repetition. There's some people have a misconception about military training in different countries that they yell at you to get you to remember. It's not even about that. They yell at you to get you to understand you've made a mistake. Do you recognize you've made a mistake? Good. Learn from that. But as far as learning, that comes from repetition, just doing the same thing over and over. The same thing, the same way, the right way, until it just becomes nature. That's the actual training. Safety concerns and disciplinary concerns are different. So you have a 2-pronged training philosophy. One is that's where the yelling and the punishments, that's due to people making mistakes, realizing mistakes can be dangerous, it can hurt people, safety. Then you have the repetition of learned action. You do both. And there's a balance. So, yeah, some countries are more aggressive towards that. Also, even in the United States, so you may not have as much physical punishment or focus on training in the Air Force in Lackland, in San Antonio, Lackland Air Force Base, but you'll have more meticulous repetition of training and more meticulous focus to detail, because in the Air Force, a lot of those jobs are very detail oriented because they're so technical and fast. Whereas in the Marines, they're still technical, but there's more physical, basic, direct action training. So they may focus more on the physical attributes because a lot of the jobs are physical. Not saying one is dumber than the other, the focus is different. So the training is going to be different. So if you were to go to the training in the Air Force versus the Marines, it's completely different. The basic skills are the same because they have to be, your general orders and general status is the same throughout all branches of service in the military in the United States. But the way they go about it and the focus point of said training is different. So for me to go to the Army, when I go and I watch someone do training, or if I watch videos of recruit training at Parris Island for the Marines, I'm like, wow, that is way more intense. But if I go watch airman training at Lackland Air Force Base for the Air Force, I'm like, that's not necessarily easier, but man, that's a lot of mental stuff. So but they're all there for a purpose. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Now, what about the Navy? Well, naval recruits go through a boot camp similar to the Marines with differences. The structure of discipline is the same, but the technical skills is different. Why? Because the same discipline you need to be a Marine, if you're going to be on a boat, living in close quarters for months at a time, you can't be lazy. You can't have a crappy attitude. you can't just be laissez-faire with your discipline and responsibility like you would in other branch. So the Navy allows Marine drill instructors to perform the basic parts of their boot camp, similar to Marine Corps recruits to a point, because they want the discipline of a Marine, because they live on a boat together, tight, close quarters. They want that discipline, but then they go off and they do naval, on the ocean training. Marines, focus, discipline. Now we're going to be a ready action amphibious strike force on a moment's notice. So it is different. It's very different. So when you're watching this kind of stuff, it is different. So yeah. So there you go. But I was just noticing this. They're up to day 9 and you're seeing them do those things that someone had to tell them to do multiple times on day 1. It's starting to happen for them. Are they still civilians? Absolutely. They're still young kids.
Jag antar att vi kommer få skjuta för första gången nu. Men det återstår att se. Det är alltid något twist med det. Nästa tid är på cirka 2 minuter. Och då ska alla fullställda här egentligen helt fullpackade. Har det funnits 10 minuter?
Sluta fippla, kom på plats! Det är en mängd faktorer som påverkar hur...
Okay, let's take a look at this real quick. What are they geared up for? Okay. So remember we showed the 2-packs on the first night, that giant field full pack, and then they had that smaller field pack. They're wearing the smaller field packs, but yet they have their bedrolls. Are they going to be sleeping? No. I believe that since they're doing this basic rifle marksmanship, the pads are to lay down on to practice weapons fire, which is very posh. It's very nice. Yeah, but they still have packs. What's in those packs? I'm not sure. It could be weather gear for different things. Maybe a cleaning kit for the rifles. Whatever they're designated to bring for this evolution are in their packs. They're ready to go. And yeah, they're still really clean. Another thing I'm noticing, all of their uniforms the material appears to be a modified Gore-Tex feel all the way across. Whereas in the US Army, we have a polyester hybrid summer uniform, a heavy wool winter uniform, and then we'll wear Gore-Tex on top of that if needed. Whereas the Swedish soldiers appear that all of their gear appears to have some sort of Gore-Tex hybrid type of material. I would assume that makes sense because there's more times where they're going to want wet weather protection, cold weather protection more often than they would have any sort of heat protection. And then this isn't even their heavy winter gear. Their heavy winter gear is for sub-freezing temperatures. So this is really cool. I'm noticing these little things that are different about the Swedish soldiers, mainly because it's tailored for the needs of Sweden, which is cool.
Det är en mängd faktorer som påverkar hur svårt ett skott är.
När vi fick skjuta på artilleriparken, då låg jag från öra till öra. Första sergeant sköt först. Trycket i bröstet var hans första skott. Satt han alla skott. Riktigt jävla man crush blev det på första sergeant.
Vi har haft liksom säkerhetsomgång och det finns så många... Alltså vi har fått all information. Det känns som de har en jävla koll på vad de gör.
Ja, det var ju lyckan av att skjuta.
This is extremely different than American. American, we would not do a close range fire, even on a trap range like that. The range is sloped to, as the rounds hit, it goes up, directly up into the capture area, and it captures every bullet as it goes in. We don't do anything like that in American military. We put them on a range where it's or not long distance, but 50, 100 yards just to get them to practice putting rounds down range. where it's further away. But I get it. I get it. Sweden does it their own way. But yeah, you saw how the cadre did it first. I'm going to show you how to do this. Pay attention, please. And then they're going to attempt it. For a lot of these people, this is the first time they fired a round downrange of anything. This is crazy.
Nu har man kul alltså. Nu lönar sig alla de där timmarna man lagt på det.
Då springer man fram till sin tavla.
Där då, skytteprick. Jag kan lika gärna kalla mig sån här skidskytte kanske. Nej, det gick inte så bra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bra.
Vrider vapnet. Gå till under magasinet.
I wonder if, now that they've let them test fire the weapons, I wonder if they're going to teach them how to shoot it accurately now. Because what they're doing right now, there's no accuracy at all. They're lucky if they even hit the target. This rapid fire at a target, just squeeze the trigger as much as you need to. It is different. We spent a lot of time on rifle marksmanship in the United States where we teach them how the breathing, position, eyesight, line of sight, keeping your sight picture the same, trigger pull, all of that stuff before we even let them shoot a single round. The idea is to make them a marksman first and then let them get accustomed to firing multiple rounds. In fact, I don't think we were able to shoot rapid fire rounds either on semi-automatic or in burst until after BRM, until after we qualified as marksmen. That's a little bit different. And the Marines is even more disciplined because every member of the Marine Corps, even a cook, all the way from cooks and clerks, are still rifle marksmen in the Marine Corps. That's every time. They've learned that lesson the hard way. So this is very different.
Kronor. Godkänd. Bra träffbild. Där. Underkänd. Ta ner tempot.
Slow down.
Det är lite som nyårsafton, grabbar.
Ja, gör det. Fast det här är 10 gånger roligare än nyårsafton.
Okay, also there's something else that they get to do that we didn't have. They also have they're using a 1.5 scope. So they're learning how to look through the scope. And if you're learning how to shoot iron sight, rear aperture reticle to the front aperture post, iron sight is different. When you're using a scope, you zero the scope, and then as long as you have crosshairs and you don't jerk the weapon, you should be fine. Plus, they're shooting at targets 25 meters. It's not far. So I can see why they're doing it like this. I guess they're also getting them used to firing weapons, because those that are going to be scout snipers, that's a completely different world. You wouldn't shoot like this on a scout sniper at all. Plus, her arm is really far out. That is not a stable firing position. You have your arm fully extended like this, your forearm. You want it close to support, but you want to have that 90 degree in your elbow. That gives you better lock. Now, some of that may be the fact she has short arms. This is just basic getting used to firing. This is not marksmanship at all. This is familiarization. That's what this is.
Idag serverar Hans Majestät Konungen den underbara kombinationen utav pasta, köttfärssås och grönsaker.
Yummy!
Jag funderade på att bli militär. Man gjorde mönstringen. Sen fick man tillräckligt bra resultat och sen frågar rekryterarna om man ville göra jägartest. Och sen, ja, jag vill göra. Sen så lyckades man med det också. Och sen hamnar man här.
Jag försökte bygga en kudde. Det är dock inte så jävla bekvämt. Men skitsamma.
Sen är det kul att få några att hänga med igen. så man hänger rätt mycket med dem i logementet. Har man otur får man sådana som Forsmark. Kan hjälpas.
Jag kommer knappt ihåg.
Yeah, they really don't have to worry about things like elevation, round drop, windage. They don't have to really worry about that kind of stuff here because it's a short range. But for me, it was iron sights on an M16A2, and on the rear apogee, you had a knob that once you had it to 0 to 100 meters, 100 yards, you would zero your round to 100 yards. You could do center mass, 100 yards, same aperture. If you're going to shoot 200, 300 yards, there were clicks on the rear aperture you could adjust to where you'd shoot the same, but because it's 300 yards away, it compensated your elevation of your weapon for you. So the idea for rifle marksmanship is you want the same sight picture every time you shoot, whether it be 50 yards, 100 yards, 300 yards. It doesn't matter. It should be the same. You adjust the clicks on your weapon to adjust how far you're shooting. It's different modernly, in a modern context, because now with modern sights that aren't iron, you got to learn how to shoot iron sights. Let's be honest. You need to learn. But on modern scopes, you can adjust it on the scope and it adjusts for that. And you just put the 2 dots and you're good. It is a little different. Modern warfare, things have changed drastically from when I was in basic training, but I still shoot modern equipment and there are differences. Again, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing because obviously Sweden's Arctic Rangers are one of the top tier. I mean, the Nordic Jaegers are the #1 special ops Arctic team in the world right now. But what they're doing is familiarization on how to use this weapon close range. Once you're familiar and it doesn't scare the crap out of you, now we're going to teach you how to use it lethally. It's not a bad philosophy. It's just different. Are the results to prove that it's obviously the results prove it. So you can't knock the result. So the method is true. So it's just a different focus. American Army training and Marine Corps training is to focus on technique and marksmanship technique before you fire a first round. This is familiarization and then we have fun with it. Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Dagarna, de går ihop så jäkla... Nej, men det var kul med skjutning. Och sen det är sådana kontraster mellan också vi gör någonting eller att vi inte gör någonting. Som nu så ligger alla här och sover och skrattar och egentligen sover och kanske.
All right, so this right here is the most common thing to American training. This, I believe, is a global, this is a global thing when it comes to military training. I don't care which country you serve in. When you're doing training in the military, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, if the training cadre says, everyone get a rest, you can sleep anywhere. I'm gonna lay down here and you are out immediately. That's just something I've fallen asleep standing in line for chow. I'm just telling you, I've done it.
Det är också ganska mycket så här skit. Alltså det är ganska många jobbiga saker man gör, men de här stunderna som väl är roliga, alltså, det drar upp det så mycket så det är alltså, läggs på en väldigt hög nivå efteråt.
Sjukvårdskörning var kul. För man gjorde första förband och sånt var intressant. Tycker jag i alla fall, det som att jag är intresserad av sjukvård.
Sätter på tourniquet.
Okay. He's practicing putting a tourniquet on his own leg. All right. Yeah, basic medic training too. Everyone's got to do that too.
Vi har sprängt bort vårt underben. Då ska vi stoppa blodet här.
Du drar ju åt den där på kroppsdelen om du blivit skjuten i armen och håller på liksom spruta blod eller armen av. Drar man på den på armen, drar åt så drar man åt den och snurrar. Helvete.
Well, yeah, it hurts. Also, where you're turning the tourniquet has to be in line where the wound is. So when you have a tourniquet, there are spots on the leg, on the arm, where that are in line with the artery. So where you twist it down, that's where your peak pressure is has to be on there. For the legs, it's always on the top of the leg. On the top of the leg from the hip down. That's where your femoral artery is. For the arm, it's right here. So yeah. Don't ask me how I know that.
Första skönt kom fram. Ja, det sitter för löst. Så här ska den vara.
Nej.
Fan vad ont det gör. Så bara, tack första skönt. Fick honom att le faktiskt. Det var svinkul. Stört ont gör det sett att hon i alla fall.
Jag uppskattar allting så mycket mer när vi kommer hem. Sitta på toaletten, äta middag, sova länge. Bara dra ut på livet lite extra.
Det här är skönt. Det är liksom att de på med den här torrövningen till liksom gör.
It's when they start using acronyms instead of long words. You can tell when a civilian starts to enter a military bearing because certain words that are civilian use stop being used in the military and they're replaced by code words or acronyms because it saves time. It's true.
Det är bra uppbyggnad då. Man blir mycket mer taggad på att verkligen komma till liksom det real deal tidigare.
Du vet ju att det är vapenvård ihopsättning ikväll igen.
Ja. Jag känner som det också.
Nu ska rekryten ut på sin första fältvecka.
On the next episode, let's do some bivouac field training. Nice. Speaking of which, we're going to go to episode 4 right now. Var dit wapen? Var dit wapen? Var dit wapen? Where? Var dit wapen? Where is your weapon? Someone lost. I didn't know what the vapen was. Vapen is weapon. Oh, okay. Before I even press play, the fact that it's called "Where is your weapon?" I knew what var was where, and I know dit is your. I didn't know what I did. Now that I see vaping. Okay, so where is your weapon? That is a question no soldier, whether in training or in active service, for any military, for any country, anywhere in the world wants to be asked. Look, yeah, where is your weapon? Someone's about to learn a very interesting lesson.
Jag vet inte om jägare passar mig jättebra egentligen.
Man känner att nu vill man ju hem.
När man förstår att man klarar mer än man tror, det är då man växer.
Det är beryktat som den tuffaste utbildningen du kan göra.
I guess the first 3 episodes were the fun ones. Okay. At some point, I said in the first episode of this, at some point, it's going to stop being a little funny and start being, oh, that sucks. That's part of it. All the stuff. Remember when I told you in the first episode, the first 2 episodes of this series, I said all this little meticulous nitpicking they're doing is for a reason. Because if they're focused on little details about how clean their bunk room is or their restroom is, you know, that way when they get to the field, they're going to be thinking about little details, because in the field, little details can prevent you from being injured or killed. Or a frostbite. Okay, let's watch. Where is your weapon?
Termos, värmetröja och regnställ.
Nu ska rekryten ut på sin första fältvecka. Och det innebär kort och gott att de ska bo i skogen. Om man är ute i fält som soldat, av den anledningen att det är den miljön och det tillståndet som man kommer verka i ett riktigt krig.
Have you noticed that when they were doing the intro to rifle marksmanship, the cadre ejected the magazine and placed it underneath his knee and kneeled on it? And you saw the intro here, the female soldier, she didn't put her weapon on the ground. She put it on top of her foot so that the weapon never touched the ground. There are reasons for that. The number one problem with weapon malfunctions is it being dirty. I know it sounds dumb, but you'd be surprised. Dirt gets into the mechanism, you'd be surprised what happens. Plus, this doesn't look like it's very dry. So moisture is always your enemy. So.
Jag är faktiskt väldigt spänd. Jag är extremt taggad över att gå ut i fält. Bara gå ut i skogen lite och uppleva hur det är.
Nu har vi packat både uppdragssäcken och ryggsäck 12. Vi ska gå uppdragssäcken.
Den väger betydligt mycket mindre än den stora ryggsäcken, men det är för att man ska trappa upp successivt.
Okay, so that's their field pack. Okay, the rucksack, first week in the field. Yeah. Okay, so they had their tactical packs, which they were wearing last episode. This is the pack that's going to hold everything they need to be in the field. Now, in the Army, being in the field, those big packs have got to be fully loaded, at least 100 pounds. Have to be. Even with modern gear that's lightweight. Plus, that's not winter gear. Lone Wolf, you know that they're winter gear because you're Canadian. So you know that their winter gear is not like what we would have in the Army in the United States. Unless you're in Alaska or Montana or North Dakota, South Dakota areas, we're not going to use the level of winter gear. And even though this isn't winter time, they still need to have everything they need to stay dry and stay warm. They may not be their winter Arctic gear, which is a completely different situation, of course, but still going to be a lot of stuff because they have to have everything they need needs to be in that backpack. Yeah.
Att vara ute då, så ute ett par dagar. Var ska man sova i tält? Var ska man lägga all utrustning? Man är ju väldigt nervös. Man vet ju inte vad som komma skall, hur man kommer uppleva det. Bara kunna vara ute i fält.
I do think it's cool that they use a yurt style squad tent. In the US Army, we use shelter halves. A battle buddy, and you'd be in two people together, and they would each carry half of the shelter. And you put each half, my half and my battle buddy's half together to make a shelter. It's very impractical. So I understand why they use a yurt one. They'd have one squad would have one shelter together. It's a better process because together the group stays better insulated together as a group versus individual. So I totally get that.
Överleva, det är det som är grunden till att sen kunna börja strida i fält. Kan du inte hantera skogen kan du ju omöjligen driva strid.
Men när man har gått runt nu och klagat på att man måste gå upp i logementet och vi är trötta, men det här är i alla fall varmt. Vi är nu verkligheten slår till att det här är jägaryrket. Det är det verkligen ut på att leva ute i fält. Så rädd men taggad.
Boys, jag kom på en idé. Sova i sovsäcken så slipper vi bädda sängarna på mitten. Fattar ni hur mycket vi kommer att spara på det? Jag ska absolut göra det.
Perstorp är vårt markmål, 1 mil. Finns det skjutbanor och skog som vi kan bo i. Det känns skönt att få gå lite nu, faktiskt.
I don't know what he said, but let me just throw it out there. Okay, everyone, we're going to ruck march out to the bivouac, the field site. Make sure you have everything you have with you. It's about to get real.
Kämpa på. Men det är ju ständig våg mellan en ultimat utbildningssituation där man är pigg och fräsch och kry och en kärvare miljö där de här individerna sen då ska verka i.
Vi marschar 50 minuter och sen är det 10 minuters rast. Kort rast så byter man strumpor för att förhindra skavsår.
Jobbigt. Men det är stor skillnad med 10 minuters rast.
Ont ställen man inte visste man kunde få ont.
De har ju byggt upp just packningen och stridsutrustning och dag för dag. Först var det ganska lätt och då tyckte man det var tungt. Ja. Och sen kastade man på mer. Ja, det ser väl underbart här. fisklukt.
Av packningen, lägg den bakom er till rast, 30 minuter.
Var tredje eller var fjärde marschpass är långrast. Och vid långrast så kokar man vatten, äter med en måltid.
Oh yeah, MREs baby.
Det är som värmare. Och så låter man det koka upp. Man lägger i påsen, matpåsen i värmaren.
Yeah, there you go. Outdoor heaters. It's got a phosphorus, a white phosphorus heating element inside. You place the red packet that he's putting into the pouch is the food in a sealed packet. Inside there's a chemical. You add water, chemical reaction causes heat. Then you take it out and you have warm food. Yep. That's been around since the 80s. We've been using that like that.
Pasta. Jag tänker det, man börjar märka, nej men det är lugnt, jag klarar mig. Så blir man lite svettig och mysig och så kommer skavsåren smygande. Och när de väl är på plats så då är det för sent.
Här är tiden ute! Ni som satt här framme, varför plockar upp skräp efter er?
En kolonn, var med mig.
Alla vet ju var de ska ligga om det händer någonting. Ska försvara den här platsen. Då kommer vi bygga förläggning här innanför de här gränserna som precis har upprättat. Vi har kontroll, besätta eldställningar, framåt.
En eldställning är den plats du ska skjuta ifrån. Det är en plats du ska försvara.
Bra. Det vi ska göra här nu under förmiddagen, del av kvällen, är att vi ska bygga en tältförläggningsplats.
Kör vi. Hej, lyssna nu ni som håller. Gå vänster, rotera så vi får ingången åt rätt håll.
Det håller inte att man lägger från sig vapnen och går 20 meter bort, för det börjar liksom skjutas på en eller regna granater och det är svårt att ta sig de där 20 meterna till vapnen utan att liksom måste man ju springa genom eld. Det är ingenting jag vill testa i alla fall.
Saknar något?
Ja, vet du.
Får du något?
Min automatiska bil.
Hur långt ifrån dig ska den vara?
1,25.
Maximalt va? Det här kan hända. Aldrig hända igen.
1,25 meter från vapnet är det längst. Skjutas på en eller regna granater och det är svårt att ta sig.
I left my weapon by that tree over there.
20 meterna till vapnet utan att liksom måste man ju springa genom eld. Det är ingenting jag vill testa i alla fall.
Saknar något?
Ja, vet du.
Får du något?
Min automatiska bil.
Hur långt ifrån dig ska den vara?
1,25.
Maximalt va? Det här kan hända. Aldrig hända igen.
1,25 meter från vapnet är det längsta avståndet.
Kamin och kaminrör.
Det vi lärde oss var ju liksom att effektivt slå upp ett tält och ja, det är mer meck liksom. Om man jämför med om man ska tälta hemma, det är ju bara att sätta tält, så det är klart.
Sågar både när jag trycker bort och drar emot mig.
Det ska väl sluta att vi liksom kan lära oss att leva på naturen i slutet till viss del. Under en viss tid i alla fall. Oj.
Det här är ju då ett dräneringsdike som vi har byggt när det regnar. Ska det då inte tömmas över in i tältet.
Tänk att du sitter där på campingen i framtiden och så börjar det regna som fan. Och du är den enda personen som du dyker runt. Du har morgonen efter och så är det piss över hela campingen. Förutom i ditt tält.
Man får köra snabbare och snabbare för nu blir mörkret kraftigare.
Ja, vi ska upprätta en diskplats.
Boom! No, I'm sorry.
Då har vi delat upp det så att alla är eldpost en timme då under natten. Och nu är ju klockan 10:30, så jag sitter till 11-tiden. Så jag kommer få lite sömn i natt jämfört med andra.
Klockan 4 till 5 alltså.
Nu kommer det här att vi ska även vara ute på patrullering. Det är vi som ska gå runt.
Det var ganska sköna tält, de är stora, de är varma. Det enda jobbiga var ju att vi var tvungna eldvakt och en patrullerande post.
Akta, brödet. Mycket att hålla koll på. Och man packar ner och packar upp allt var 50 minuter känns det som.
30 sekunder kvar.
30 sekunder kvar.
I know some of you asked about the someone had asked about the ranks, the rankings. Okay, so so for the rankings, okay, so you saw on their collar they had the crown and cross swords. That is the first rank. It is the basic simple Minning rank. Minning, which I guess is soldier, private. We call them privates. That's what we call them in the US military. Doesn't matter. And then there, if you once the next rank above that is the crown and the cross swords go away. And then there's a single straight bar. Okay. That's rating 1. And then 2 bars is rating 2, 3 bars, rating 3, 4 bars is rating 4. That's the highest rank you can get as a basic soldier in the Swedish military. Above that are non-commissioned officers, and that starts with the chevron, right? A single chevron is a corporal or some sort of a similar to a corporal. It's like a vice corporal, and then 2 chevrons is a corporal. Then they have the sergeant, which is 3. Okay, similar to United States. But then, and then you can get different ratings in that. Above that, in the first sergeant, sergeant major, battalion command sergeant major, they use stars. Now, in the US military, we look at that as being a general, but for them, that's a senior NCO. That star has a circle around it that's broken, which means they're not commissioned. It's a little different. And a lot of it kind of falls along the lines of the Swedish ranking system has to be kind of workable with other NATO countries. So for Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Germany, France, it's very similar for enlisted personnel. So it's easier because the countries are kind of all work together. So it's a little bit different, but it is very similar. Yeah, so trying to figure out which rank is who or whatever, it's hard to know unless you get really close and see. But I don't know a lot of them. But I do know a lot of the NCO ones are similar to ours. The only difference is the don't get confused by the star thing. Because a lot of European and NATO countries use stars, certain star patterns in their enlisted ranks too, which kind of throws off American soldiers. I've seen American soldiers freak out and salute a freaking sergeant, first sergeant in another country's military thinking it's a general because there's a star. It's different. It's a little different. It's okay. But I've seen it happen. It's kind of fun. Let's keep going.
Här är tiden ute. Vi kan inte hamna tillbaka på vecka 1 avseende tidpassning. Bara för att vi är ute i skogen.
Good times.
Samtidigt nu, är det så att ni vill förstärka klädseln och på er regnställ motsvarande så får ni göra det.
Oh, starting to rain. Everything changes now.
Vi ska maskera oss och göra vapenkontroll.
Färdighet innebär att man ska genomföra de åtgärder som krävs för att kunna bedriva strid. Du ska maskera dig, och det är det som är det jobbigaste. Du måste verkligen se till att maskera hela ansiktet, för att missa en viss bit och ser du onaturligt ut i naturen och kan bli röjd.
Bra på den sidan.
Okay, no shiny stuff. You want to look as natural as possible. Tying the branches to your helmet only works if you go inverted. He has showing the back of the branches. That's a dead giveaway for me. That I can see the back of the branch means it's not natural. Because seeing the back of a branch means something is disturbed or it's broken or it's a human. So I would look for that.
På den här sidan.
Nu är ungefär konturen av att det
Okay,
är huvud här, va?
you are easy to spot, sir.
Ni är där på huvudet här.
Ja.
Som man ju ser jättetydligt. Nu bara ser man jättetydligt. Ni rör er.
Ja.
Det hörs mer kamrater. Ni bryter konturerna.
Now the idea is you're not supposed to be, it's not going to be a camouflage on the helmet doesn't work until you're on the ground. If you're on the ground and you've hidden everything else and the only thing that's sticking up is that, the key is they'll put this stuff on their head and they don't realize that the only way head covering foliage works is if once you get into position, you don't fucking move. If you're going to move, just keep the helmet clean because the smooth helmet moving does not give as much target acquisition at long range as moving a fucking bush. So if you're going to do that, remember, once you commit to using foliage, you have to do what trees do. You know what trees do? They don't move. So you have to be willing to have discipline with that. So it's interesting. Everyone does it different.
Nu ni bryter konturen. Men ni har fortsatt lastat på. Och det är det här. Ni använder detta materialslaget. Som är tjockt, va? Nu har ni en sån, ser ut som en sån 80-tals pudelrockare med grönt hår. Åla mot varandra. Ska ni få titta på er kamrat maskerad och i låga ställningar.
Fan, när vi krälade med det här. Då ska man ju dingsur överallt. Usch. Fan, jag tror det inte skulle vara så jobbigt när det...
Now, what's really interesting is they're learning how this works, but I guarantee you if their cadre, the training cadre, showed them how it's done, and their cadre walked out with the way they would do it, they would walk out to that horizontal line, this horizontal line, and then they would lay down and they would disappear. And the recruits would be like, holy shit. And then when the new recruits do it, since they don't know how to pattern mask and how to get it set based upon what they're seeing, you notice how they're all using only green branches? None of them are filling in with moss and some of the brown material. That makes them stick out. They don't realize it, but it does make them stick out. So I bet you if the cadre did it, they'd be getting a little bit of everything. A lot of these cadre members, they would stand here, they would see their spot, and they would look and see, okay, that's a little brown right there. There's some deep green, there's some wood coloring. They would go over there and get that, put that, go to that spot, sit, lay down, gone. Completely gone. They're learning. They're learning. But you know, it's all part of it. It's part of the learning curve.
Blött.
Larmina, 2 Bertil.
Trip the tripwire. Congratulations, you're all dead.
Innehåller en lys och visselsats.
Här är vajern som den ska sitta i här i säkerhetsskydden.
Ja. Det är sjukt svårt att se den faktiskt.
Det enda vi gjorde egentligen var ju bara att öva på att sätta upp förläggning.
Bara för att det är nytt så tar det ju så extremt lång tid. Och passa tider i fält upplevs ju jättejobbigt för att då har man ingenting att utgå ifrån.
Carrying the ammo can. Ammo cans are heavy when they're loaded. A fully loaded 50 caliber can or heavy weapon can weigh upwards of 50 pounds. They're heavy. You took off and left your fucking weapon? When has this ever been good? Dude, your weapon is on the ground, dude.
Springer iväg efter ätit och sen så börjar jag diska allting. Ja, och sen så ställer jag på uppställningen och det är ju bara några minuter kvar.
One thing I am noticing is that the weapons, the AK-5s, none of them have straps on them. So they can't strap the weapon to them and move. And I think that's done on purpose. In the American military, if you're not holding it to fight, you have it strapped over your shoulder or across your back to do work. In the Swedish military, I'm believing that they don't do that because half the time they may be wearing Arctic gear that you can't even do that with. And then also it does another thing. If they don't have a strap to strap their weapon to them or to anchor their weapon to them, you know what you have to do? You have to carry it everywhere. And I think it's twofold, Lone Wolf. I think it's number one, it's to teach them to physically have to have hands on it all the time. That's pretty smart. I get that discipline. The other thing is they're going to be in situations, particularly in Scandinavian and Nordic countries, where with deep winter gear, there is no strap big enough that you're going to put over all your winter gear to hold a weapon. If there is a place to do that, it'll be a clip-in. It'll be like a white clip-in to where on your outer parka, you can clip your weapon to it with a clip, but it won't be a strap. So they're teaching them not to rely on that. They're teaching them to physically keep their weapon. And obviously it works because they're leaving their weapons everywhere. Just in this episode, we've had 2 instances when one guy leaves his weapon up against a tree and the cadre brought it to him. And then another guy leaves it in the gravel. If the cadre had seen that, oh my God, that would have been a talking to, a very stern and serious talking to.
Och sen så väl där då som jag kan vänta, det är någonting som fattas här. Jag saknar någonting. Åh jävlar, vapnet. Då ligger det borta i diskplatsen. Så springer jag tillbaks dit och ser Livsharan då, som går med ett vapen. Då är det dags för
He left his weapon. I got another one.
uppställning om 1 minut. Så jag får ju bara lubba iväg i full hastighet då till uppställningen. Jag tänker, vad helvete, nu har jag gjort bort mig ordentligt.
Den ska inte vara där, eller hur? Den ska vara i din packning. 45 sekunder minus. 20 sekunder.
Spänn.
Jag tog löjtnanten då ett snack med honom liksom och sa att det här är inte okej, det är inte acceptabelt.
Okay, so you see here, 2 stars right here, but they don't have the circles, so I'm assuming this is a, is that a lieutenant? Is that a first lieutenant? That is, I believe that is that's a lieutenant, right? First lieutenant? The 2 stars like that? Or is that, it's not a captain. Yeah, it's a lieutenant. Yeah. Yeah. So the first 1 star is a Fenric. 2 stars is a lieutenant. 3 stars is a captain. 1 star with a crown is a major. 2 stars with a crown is a lieutenant colonel, and or it's called oversitte. And then 3 stars with a crown is a full bird. It's like a full bird colonel. But the upper NCOs are stars with a broken circle, so you don't confuse them with between first sergeant, sergeant major with a lieutenant. It's complicated, but it's not too bad.
Och jag visste liksom att det är ju inte det. Så.
You're looking on the collar. You see the collar right here? They carry their, see like this guy here, it's just the cross swords with the crown underneath. That is just a recruit. Then you have these 2 stars. This is a full lieutenant here. Now, below here, if he had a crown up here with 2 stars, that would be a lieutenant colonel. The crown changes it. You go from a company officer to a field grade officer. I'm saying words that make no sense to you guys. I understand, but it's similar to the US, but it is a little different.
Och jag visste liksom att det är ju inte det. Så att jag tog åt mig och tänkte att liksom förbättra mig.
Hoppas du förstår vikten av den här oerhört säkrat.
Oerhört säkrat.
Jag hade knappt framåt.
Nej, det är att man kan skratta åt det i efterhand i alla fall. Men
I do was scared shitless.
Då var det inte så kul.
Also, in the Swedish military, on the left side is the is the section of military you're in Sweden. You could be infantry, it could be coastal defense. On the right side, it's and then on the left is the rank. So it's if you get both sides, you could say, oh, he is a sergeant in the artillery. He's a sergeant in armory, or it's you look at both sides. In the United States, it's just the rank in the center. It used to be on the collar points. It's now in the center, and you look on both sides on each side to see United States, and you're assigned to this. It's just they're all very similar, though. Am I probably wrong on some of that? Yes. I was never in the Swedish military, but I did look up that stuff last time, so I'd have the information for you guys this time. I was trying to be nice, trying to be helpful.
Vi lär oss sätta ihop bår som ska kunna transportera skadade människor.
Get the stretcher out. We're going to do some medical training.
Godkänt, men dålig spänning. Spänningen hårdare nästa gång. Vi ska bygga varsin jägarbår. Jägarbår, det är en provisorisk bår som man bygger.
Nice.
Om material man hittar och material man har.
Make a makeshift one out of rope and twigs. Yeah. Way to go, guys.
Börjar likna någonting, va?
Skett liggande, sittande, stående. 100 meter oftast. Och det är alltid kul att se när vi är bättre. Vi skjuter så pass mycket nu så att man ser en förbättring.
Se till att hålla dig funktionsduglig i ett skick varje dag.
There we go. There's a cleaning kit. Ooh, see that receiver right there? That by the way, that right there is the firing arm that goes to the chamber to fire. Look at that dirt in there. You better clean that, boy.
Dra pipan. Man har blivit med sig sina 12,5 kilo ungefär. Man kostar någonting på huvudet som går och vickar lite. Plus som en mikrofyspassen vi har kört med löpningen i sanden.
Oftast när vi springer i sandgropen så springer vi tills vi inte orkar mer.
Calisthenics for everybody because people got their weapons lost.
Lägg till bädda sängen igen.
Sen marschade vi på natten för att träna på marscha.
Och placera stödringen efter spritbörjarna i kastrullens kant. Sådär, ja.
Vi tränar ju på alla de här små bitarna som tar tid. På att ta av ringställ och gå upp och ner i sovsäcken.
Jag tror att om man då nöter där och bara gör om och om igen så har du skapat ett muskelminne som gör att det är enklare att göra den här åtgärden fast det är tufft, fast det är kallt. Och det kan vara så att i värsta fall får en fiende så kommer när du sover. Då måste du snabbt som bara den komma upp på din sovsäck för att få på dig dina grejer och sticka.
Vi har våra 3 tält här. Strid utbryter. Då ska varje man kunna med högsta hastighet springa till sin eldställning. Man gräver ett liggvärn. Det första jag gör är att jag tar bort översta lagret, lägger den bredvid. Gräver jag upp jord, bottnar den framför, slappar till.
Jag är så rädd för den här sandgropen.
That was pretty cool. So they cut the forest floor out. Then they roll that forest floor up to make a berm so they can get a singular fighting position. Then they dig the dirt to lay in. And he was showing them where the positions of multiple fighting positions should be to give a range of fire. That was pretty cool. They're showing them all the good stuff. I like that.
Alltså, nej. Det vill jag inte göra där.
Man trodde verkligen inte det skulle bli så. Man blir bara trött för varje dag som går. Man är trött på ett nytt sätt. Man är inte alls trött, så här, träningstrött efter ett tufft gympass eller ett långt löppass. Nu är man ju trött på riktigt och man känner det är svårare att motivera sig på framåt. Mycket svårare att göra vardagliga grejer för man vill ju bara vila nästan.
Det mest jobbiga var alltså mörkret. Och så skulle man gå liksom. Där var det träd. Det var svårt.
Ja, det är väl mest man får känna med händer. Och försöka memorera och lägga på samma sätt varje gång.
Men det var kul. Man lär sig jobba utan att se typ. Det blir inte smidigare att vara ute i fältet. Allting blir ju 3 gånger jobbigare.
Men tjena. Jag märker till det. Fy fan vad underbart. Man är glad man får sova liksom.
Det som är bra också det är att vi är flera stycken som kan peppa och stötta varandra. Det är det som får en att kämpa vidare. Jag är förvånad över bullarna fortfarande. Ja. Bullar och varmsaft. På torsdag blir det pizza igen. Fy fan vad gött. Kebab med pommes, extra kött, extra sås. Ja, Alltså dubbel extra, fy fan på allt. Och då kollade på klockan vilket datum var, då var det 8 oktober. Och då slog tanken med att jag fyller tydligen år imorgon, så det är ju skitskoj. Man lever verkligen nu liksom. Ens önskelista här i fälten är helt annorlunda från när vi stod ner i civila. Liksom en festis extra hade varit drömmen.
Jag vill ha en bulle, en socker, en vaniljevik.
Kallt som fan. Är någon mer som taggar och duscha när man kommer hem eller? Fan beställa online-pizza till duschen. Än så länge har det varit roliga fältdagar. Det är så mycket.
Min form, den som jag stod på kragspelare gick sönder. Jag fick ta ner mina kragspelare och sy i fält helt enkelt. Det känns på ner. Samtidigt så är det roligare att vara ute än att vara inne. Men jag vet inte riktigt vad jag är mig på, känner jag ibland. Men det är bara att bita ihop liksom.
Lite så här låg
nivå. Day 22.
Vill hem, logement, studier, typ. Även fast vi knappt har börjat. Det här är ju skintort med grunder. Det händer ju ingenting. Men det är ju viktigt att lära sig. Fan ska det bli av oss?
Jo, vi på min födelsedag så fick skjuta lysraketer. Det är jättehäftigt att man såg liksom hur allting går från att vara totalt becksvart till att bli som en dag. Så lär vi oss att skjuta lysraketer för att kunna se motståndarna när vi genomför eldfall på dem.
Det är mycket man tror att man kan tills de sätter press på en. Man glömmer saker och missar saker och sådär. Man vill alltid prestera, man vill alltid göra sitt bästa. Men det är oundvikligt. Man misslyckas hela tiden. Och för att lösa hantera det, fokusera vidare. Hänger man upp sig på någonting, då kommer man aldrig vidare.
Lyslet!
Nu får ni liksom sova. Och då tänkte jag, shit, det är en sandgrop som är skitblöt.
Det är nog en av de värsta nätterna i mitt liv hittills.
All downhill from here.
Jag mår så dåligt.
All right, so there we go. That was episode 4, 3 and 4. As you can see, they're starting to change in their behavior. I know someone had said, I wish they had the English subtitles. I'm okay without the English subtitles in the first few episodes because I like to not know what they're saying and understand what's happening. I don't need them to tell me specifically the words of what's occurring. When I get to see it in their faces and see how they see the struggle and see how it starts to come together, that I'm very familiar with. Now, I know that once we get, I think it's past episode 6 or 7, we start getting the English subtitles, which would be great because once you get into the later episodes, they start doing that specialized training that really only works in Nordic countries and Scandinavian countries that I don't understand, that I really want them to give me English subtitles so I can go, why? It's because I'm not going to understand, which is awesome. So there you go. Episode 4 and 5 of Jägersoldat, which is the infantry soldier training for Sweden for the Arctic Rangers. Very interesting to see them come in as just basic young civilians and see they're already becoming a little bit something different. Apparently, according to that intro for 5 and 6, which will be done after this, looks like it's going to get a little bit more of an attrition situation, that inner toughness, which is awesome. Okay, so there you go. That was awesome. Okay, by the way, we have some reactions to do today. Some of you have done some requests, so let's get into that now. We're going to go ahead and check those right now. Appreciate everyone being patient with me today, trying to do a few things differently. It's always good. Let's get into what some of you have requested. Let's see here. We have Lone Wolf Poetics had one for us right here. I'm going to go pull his up. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look at this.
You on the fire within, flat out to flatline again. Can't help but the feeling of falling is what sets me free. I ain't gonna try and pretend that this makes any kind of sense, but I'll do it again and again. I'll do it again and again. I push myself to the ledge, dance on the high wire. I ain't got time to regret, I bring a fire. I need that rush in my blood, I need that high like a drug. Your finger is a bliss, and why would I quit? Living like I got a death wish. Life is a funeral home, and everyone's dying alone. So when it's all written in stone, I wanna know my bones say. I push myself to the ledge, dance on the high wire. I ain't got time to regret, I bring a fire. I need that rush in my blood, I need that high like a drug. Your finger is a bliss, and why would I quit? Living like I got a death wish. Living like I got a death wish.
All right, that was pretty impressive. That was, yeah, that was solid. Very solid. I enjoyed that. So there you go. Royal End, Danny Warsnop, Death Wish. Nice. Very good. All right, we got one we got to do real quick here. Let's see here. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, all right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, everybody, it's Old School Nerd. Welcome in. I've been doing a lot of reactions to Our Mirage since I started this channel 5 years ago. Introduced to Timo Mirage and Our Mirage, and then a lot of the other artists that are around Timo Bonner. He's a producer. He's a mixer, a sound engineer, and he helps other bands. He's done a lot of collaborations with other bands like Hostage, bands that we love here as well. And I've been fortunate enough to know Timo just a little bit away from the band, the person. And I remember there were times when he would post something and I would reach out to him and say, I hope you're doing okay. And he's like, and he would tell me what's going on in his life. And I'm like, look, whatever's, because he's a human like all of us. Okay. Everyone looks at me as Old School Nerd. End of the day, I'm a dad with 3 daughters. I'm a husband to an amazing woman. I have a day job. I have life struggles just like everybody else. And Timo is also one of those people. He releases albums. He does collabs. He does a lot of hard work. And sometimes he struggles. Why? Because he's human. Now that I've said this, this is probably one of the best things Timo's ever done. And it has nothing to do with music. This is a song from Our Mirage called God Behind Your Eyes. Timo reached out to me, told me there was a new song from Our Mirage. I was excited, like I always am. And he goes, but this one's special, dude. And I'm like, well, what'd you do? He goes, this is the song I wrote. It's about me asking my fiance to marry me. This is the song that I wrote. This is the way that I asked the woman that makes me the best version of myself to be my partner for the rest of my life. And I was like, oh, so what you're saying is it's the most over the top important thing you've ever done. He's like, yeah. And he means it. All right, everybody, this is my reaction. Presented by Rising Empire Records, Our Mirage, God Behind Your Eyes.
She came in shadows laced with light. him composed in black and white. Forbidden fruit with sacred skin. A temple carved in mortal sin. And though I know I shouldn't kneel, her voice became the way I heal. I whisper prayer with my last breath. She kissed me back to life from death. You are the fire in the frost, the echo in a world I've lost. Divine and cruel, you draw me in. The saint beneath the veil of sin. We rise as one, we fall as none. To flames that burn until the sun. I found my God behind your eyes. I love the stars, but end me twice. You wear the moon like it's your crown. I turn my marrow into stone. A siren dressed in seraph's gold. Your lips rewrite what I was told. You haunt the corners of my doubt, where angels weep and demons shout. But with you I am more than man. A sovereign in your master plan. You are the fire in the frost, the echo in a world I've lost. Divine and cruel, you draw me in. A saint beneath the veil of sin. We rise as one, we fall as none. To flames that burn until the sun. I found my God behind your eyes. I love the stars, but end me twice. I break the heavens just to leave. A little more for you to see. This is all for you. You sanctify my every scar. You sanctify my scars. Illuminate just who we are.
For a band that I constantly have to get myself prepared for the fact that they're going to do everything way extra all the time, I find that this simplicity of the beginning and how every aspect of the musical score was pulled back to push forward the emotion of what Timo's personal message was at the very beginning, and then to slowly add layers to where when you finally get to the pinnacle of the song, you've built it up so carefully, it's just massive. And that's the whole point. And I think they've done it perfectly. So yeah, I really enjoy what they've done here. I really enjoy this. Really well done. It's really well done.
You are the fire in the frost, All the stars would end me twice.
That's a good bookend. That's a really good bookend. Coming off soft like that, that's how you do it right there. Love that. Oh, end it the way you started it. There you go. Okay, so yeah, there you go. This is Armirage. Of course, it's part of their upcoming album, which comes out in January. It's called Fractured Minds. I'll have all of this information for Armirage in the description below. Please check them out. And with that, hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later. Nice. Very, very good. I enjoyed that to no end. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that quite a lot. All right. Okay, so Halfrey says he's having a problem with the link. Let me check on that for you real quick, buddy. Stand by for me. And I'm going to go over to our stream link. Let me pop in here. It probably has something to do with this. So let me, okay. Okay. Come right here. Let me double check this. Check all of this. Check this. See if I can find it. Yeah, the page, I refreshed the page just in case. And now it's, oh, I still have it turned off. Have it turned off from yesterday. Hold on, I'll adjust it. Give me a second. All right.
Grimful Daggers.
Okay, Grimful Daggers. Let's check this out together. Grimful has 11,200 subscribers. Came out yesterday. Emo music. 3 minutes, 39 seconds. All right, let's check it out.
These days craving destruction just to feel awake, surrounded by all the snakes. They come out. We all got daggers in our backs. Daggers in our backs. Twist them deeper, make it last. We can't outrun our past. Every wound becomes a lesson learned. Every bridge you crossed, I watch it burn. From a blade to a war, I became something more, something you can't ignore. And there's no going back. I watch you betray so beautiful.
Pretty scary.
Like you made destroying me your mission. But I perfected the art of crucifixion. 'Cause nothing hurts deeper than my own affliction. You're gonna bring out the worst in you. So do your worst to me, go on. Do your worst to me. I can handle anything you bring. So fucking easily. Till the end you'll see. I fight to the death you'll see. So go on, I dare you to fuck with me. Daggers in our backs. Twist them deeper, make it last. We can't outrun our past. Every wound becomes a lesson learned. Every bridge you cross, I'll watch it burn. From a blade to a war, I became something more, something you can't ignore. And there's no going back.
All right. So that was a different vibe. That was, yeah, that was pretty solid right there. Yeah. All right. Very good, half free. Yeah. If you guys like that, yeah. It's came out from DistroKid. Very unique style. I did enjoy that. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it too. I have all this information here in the description. So yeah, it's called Grimfell Daggers. All right, there you go. Half free finding all the crazy stuff that I didn't think to find myself, which is always awesome. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later. Yep. That was definitely different. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna process the Jaeger Salted and the Armorage, and then this one from Grimfell. Get those posted. Hey guys, don't forget to vote for Up and Coming. You guys did a good job of voting last week. Let's keep that going because y'all did some really good voting, and that was awesome. You know, it's honestly it's important you guys keep doing that because you guys did a good job for sure. Yeah.
Here we are, born to be kings.
Everybody, Tori's here. Tori's here. Hey Tori, how you guys doing? Did you guys get some snow over there? I saw some winter weather going that way. It's cold here, but it didn't snow. Did you guys get any white stuff on your side? And I'm just wondering. It's things that I wonder.
Get back in the kitchen. Make me a sandwich.
Yeah, I know. No snow here. Okay. I know that there's a fine line. There's like a line. It's that Appalachian line. You can get some snow up in the upper areas, but then once you get close to the coast, it's like, probably not. It just gets freaking cold and miserable. Awesome. Good deal. How was your dad's visit? Did that go like you planned? And I'm just asking because I have no idea. Yeah, I worry about these things. I care, people. I'm allowed to care, okay? Okay, getting pushed back into you was fine. Gonna misconnect and pack them back up. Ah, but did he finally get out? Yeah, you know, air travel's just been shit lately. Like it's just not been going well at all. Ugh, that's horrible. See, that was when we went to Helsinki, Finland, we were worried about that kind of stuff. Because our flight to go to Finland was canceled and rebooked so many times. The fact that we reached there in time for the wedding blew us away. And since then, we're like, from now on, any time that we have something we need to go, there is no way we're flying anywhere without it being a couple of days in advance to make sure we actually get there. Things have been so dicey. Yeah. So, yeah. When is your, when is your next stream? Isn't your next stream, on Tuesday? Yeah. Tuesday at noon. I knew I keep track of it. I just didn't know when it was. I wanted to make sure I wasn't about to cut you off or something. Always leave time for travel, guys. Especially, yeah, American Airlines have been bad. American airports have been ridiculous. Now, for Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, if you're coming in from international and you don't give yourself 4 hours to transfer, you're not going to make it. That's how bad it's backed up there. It's ridiculous. So, yeah. Well, everybody, it is 11 o'clock. I need to go. I have to go get ready because we're going to drop below freezing tonight. I got to go wrap pipes, get plants pulled in. I got to go check some properties. I got to go do work. So we're going to raid someone. We're raiding Mia, the voice teacher. They're doing some reactions to different bands, which is kind of cool. Vocal coach reactions, which is awesome. I will be back tomorrow for some live streams tomorrow night and a reaction. Also, check out today's reaction. Stacy Struber from The Voice Germany. She did a full version of her voice audition with Dario from Torrential Rain, which is awesome. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye.